So for me, it's all about creating a movement in a lifestyle, right? I knew that it started with me, and whatever I did in my life, I wanted to make that my business. So I knew that at the time I was 40 pounds overweight, and people would see me online. They may not respect that because this guy's a little bit out of shape. He's not really like the pinnacle of what I would want to look like. So I got in great shape. I went from over 20% body fat down to sub 7%, and I started posting videos on YouTube. And this was about 5 years ago. My vlog, right, showing videos every Saturday. I had a strategy, and then every Monday I had a mindset Monday. So I did 2 videos for every week for like 5 years, right? I've just now taken a break of like a month and a half, and I have other ambassadors that are making the videos now for our community, which is awesome, and they're totally doing an amazing job. But the consistency, building the community with the videos, giving away a juicer every week for the past 5 years, promoting it on social, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all the various networks as well, and staying ahead of the time. Predicting trends in social media helps navigate in building the momentum of the community and the movement. I read a book in the very beginning called Brains on Fire, and that is how to build a movement, essentially, how to get your first follower, how to basically build a brand that lives on past you. Because I think that's what we're trying to do as entrepreneurs, you know?
Create
It's
legacy
bigger.
ultimately.
Yeah, it's bigger than we are. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up. They think it has to be all them, right? And they wear the technician hat in 12 different roles in their company. But to transcend that, you have to make your values, your code, your ethics, your integrity bigger than you. And it almost has to become like a religion or a lifestyle somebody can like tap into and implement. I mean, we can go in any country right now and meet another fit lifer, and I know that they're going to be on the same page. They love juicing, they love health, they love positive mindset, they love transformational change, helping others, and it's awesome. It's a very rewarding feeling to be a part of a community like this.
Well, I mean, what you're describing is ultimately the difference between entrepreneurship and business ownership, which are two completely different things. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about building a real, like you are ultimately taking shape as the true entrepreneur you are, rather than
Hmm.
just building a business and looking for revenue and balance of just skill.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's really really incredible. So I'm kind of curious about that you said you're giving away a juicer every single week. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about kind of how you found your niche within this space, because it seems like even 5 years ago, people were still talking about health and fitness and things of the sort. But you're kind of going into this, like ultimately being all around better. But were there not people already doing that then?
Well, one thing we teach our coaching students is actually how to niche down. I believe in niching down so specifically in one little area that you can dominate than going after the whole fitness thing, right? And I see a lot of mistakes people are making on Facebook, on Instagram, all these fitness trainers that are slinging protein powders and all this other stuff. You really have to understand a niche really, really well, better than anybody else, and have some redeeming qualities that you can use to grow in that niche and dominate it, right? So for us at the time, juicing, I mean, Jack LaLanne was doing it, yes. Jay Kordich was a big juicer in the 70s, but there really wasn't a new face to juicing, right? 5 years ago. So I'm like, juicing changed my life. I started drinking one green juice a day, getting the micronutrients, the enzymes, the aminos, everything that comes with it. And my mind started to feel better as an entrepreneur. I started to operate at a higher level. I started to develop a deeper compassion for people. I realized that food was controlling me. I was addicted to dopamine, the sugar rush that you get, right? And I had all of these health related issues. So as soon as I started juicing, it totally transformed my life. And I'm like, it changed my life. It's real. It's not like some get rich quick gimmick. It's not an MLM. I'm just going to show people how to juice. I'm going to teach them how to make juices, recipes. I'm going to show them how to lose weight, and I'm going to be there guiding them every step of the way. And we did that. And I did it in my own life. I demonstrated it. And then I started flying around the country to visit individual transformation clients where we do a high-end transformation for a day. I join a client, and we were charging in the beginning 10 grand for every person that we were working with in a day. But my time got a little too valuable as an entrepreneur. And now I do them for like 25 to 50,000. But it's spending a day and a half, ripping apart their genetic code, looking at their microgut biome, cleaning out their kitchen, enrolling their wife and kids. Usually it's men that I work with, letting them know about the transformational process, holding them accountable for 90 days, and setting them up for success. And a lot of these men, their businesses quadruple in 90 days because they have more mental clarity, they have more vision, they have more focus, and it all starts with them, right? So that was the very beginning of this concept in the community that kind of blew up the way it is today.
So the one-on-one coaching, was that ultimately kind of like the funding model for this whole movement in the earlier phases?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. You get it, dude. Yep. Because I didn't have big pockets. I didn't come into this thing with VC or any startup capital or anything like that. And it was, how can I make as much money as possible in the very beginning to fund the digital work that I was working on, the future physical products. It was all high-end transformation.
Right. So no, I mean that's really incredible because I love when I hear people are bridging the gap. Like as in, they know where they're going and they need to create something originally to kind of get them to the starting line, not even to the finish line.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that. So tell me a little bit about releasing kind of info products. Early on you were saying you had some coaching things people could
Yeah.
download. Tell me a little bit about how kind of that was received with your community in the earlier stages.
Well, you get to a point where your time is really valuable as a person, period. No matter what you do, time is the thing that's against you, right? So you have to bend it, you have to use it, you have to will it into creating bigger things for you. And when I was doing these high-end transformations, I was like, what if I had a $97 digital program that I could sell to people that really couldn't afford $25,000 for me to come to their house for a day, that would give them juice recipes, a fitness program, meals, everything that they need, and a membership site attached to it to where they could be part of a community and have access and resources to coaches that we were developing on the Fit Life team as well, and ask me questions and do calls and stuff like that. So once we started to roll that out through our social media, this was at a time when Facebook organic reach was huge. I mean, we were getting anywhere from 6 to 10 million hits on Fit Life TV per month on our blog. And this was the only thing we were selling them. So we were actually selling millions of dollars worth of digital product before we went into physical product or anything like that.
So, and you said something earlier around when you started, you were charging $10,000, but a person per day, like to actually go and do the coaching. I'm curious as to how did you kind of position yourself to get that kind of dollar out, being fairly new in the market? Was there kind of was there a reason why someone would be willing to pay what you call, like kind of an industry expert rate if you were so new, or was there some kind of something that happened that made people kind of realize the value you were providing up front?
Yeah. Well, one thing I did really well in the very beginning was I documented it, right? I used video, Fit Life TV, to show the very beginning. And I do a process on all of our transformation clients where I go through their identity, right? I ask them why they want to change. What does it look like in 90 days? What do they want to hear from their friends and family? What do they want to see when they look in the mirror? And most of all, like, what legacy do they want to leave behind after they're gone 200 to 400 years from now? What do you want people talking about what you created in this life experience? And I documented all that, right? So they had this unstoppable willpower from the very beginning. They knew that they were admitting to the world that they could improve in the physical realm. And I was showing them how to do it, holding them accountable for 90 days, and one right after another. I mean, I had these crazy transformations, and we still do today, but it was not just from a physical perspective, but from a mindset. I mean, we're talking different people. When somebody would start a transformation program, and still today, they come out a completely different human being than they were. So their friends, their family, everybody around them was asking, what did you do? How can I get a hold of the information that you went through to do this? And I went from having one client, Kent Clothier, my very first transformation student, to having like 16 in my first year. So that funded the whole entire thing, and I documented each one of them with video and showing them what we were doing and everything else, and it just kind of fueled the movement from the very beginning. And most of these people were influencers, so I would target influencers that would have big lists, email lists, that would commit to sending it out to their audience, because as an entrepreneur, we're always looking for things to give to our people to show them that we're real, to be vulnerable, right? So the beautiful part about these videos that we would send out is it would really humanize the entrepreneur that was going through the process with me, the transformation, and their whole community would root them on and cheer for them along the way. And the beautiful thing about it is it held them accountable as well. And once they hit their goal, they showed their audience what was considered impossible. You know, taking a 60-year-old man who's never had a six pack in his life and doing it naturally through changing his food, his microgut biome, all of these things, and giving him a shredded six pack. He looks like he could be on the cover of Men's Health. That's the type of transformations that we were doing that showed the world what was impossible to a lot of people became possible. And then that fueled their business on the other side of it as well. So it just kind of synergy all around, really.